Hello again. There are several factors which might limit battery power, which we will discuss in this lecture. We will also discuss battery power usage in the perspective of aging and temperature. Let's start by analyzing the current limit. The higher the current, the quicker the battery will age. This diagram is a very simplified way of presenting how the service life of a battery is reduced by high current. On the horizontal axis, we see the discharge current, expressed as C rate, and on the vertical axis, we see the service life reduction factor. If we want the battery to last about 90% of the ideal service life, we can see how high current can be used. For this energy battery, we can use up to 3C current, and the power battery can have 5C current. Note that the life expectancy drops very quickly at high currents. If we double the currents just mentioned, the battery will age in a very short time. There is no definitive current limit which the battery shouldn't exceed, so to speak. But due to the very steep drop in the expected service life, we can simplify the analysis by assuming that there actually is a fixed current limit. Let's translate the limit into a power limit in the operating region of the battery. We use the circuit model of the battery to do that. All batteries have an open circuit voltage which varies with the state of charge. Here we assume that the open circuit voltage varies linearly with state of charge. Please note that this assumption doesn't hold for all types of batteries though. Now, let's apply our maximum charge and discharge current limits. The equivalent circuit of the battery gives a maximum and minimum power limit. Since the current is constant, the power will vary according to the variation in the open circuit voltage. So, as we can see in the diagram, the maximum currents give us discharge and charge power limits, which decrease somewhat as the battery state of charge is reduced. To avoid high stress in the battery cell, the terminal voltage should neither be too high nor too low. As the battery is discharged, the open circuit voltage will drop. At a maximum discharge current, the terminal voltage will reach the lower voltage limit at about 25 to 30% state of charge for this battery. To prevent the battery voltage from falling below the minimum limit, the discharge current will have to be reduced when the state of charge becomes low. By reducing the current when the open circuit voltage drops, the terminal voltage can be kept at its minimum limit. Reducing the current will make the maximum discharge power approach zero as the battery is discharged. The same phenomena occurs if we charge the battery at maximum current when it is close to the maximum state of charge. The charge current, and therefore also the power, has to be decreased at high state of charge to limit the terminal voltage to its maximum value. This is the reason why quick charging cannot fully charge the battery. The last part of the charging will have to take longer time to protect the battery from overvoltage. Note that the battery always tries its best, so to speak. In itself, it doesn't shut down or self-regulate should the operating point fall outside the limits presented here. Therefore, it's important that the powertrain control is designed such that it prevents the battery energy and power to exceed these limits. Just like for the operating region of the electric drive and combustion engine, we can plot the efficiency of the battery in the operating region to make all important information available in one diagram. We can see that the efficiency is greater than 99% when the power is low. Efficiency drops to about 95% at high power, both when charging and discharging. The efficiency also increases with state of charge. The exact efficiency values of course vary with battery type, but the general characteristics are similar. Here's an example. If we assume the battery shall last 10,000 cycles, the state of charge window is reduced to this level. Since the undervoltage and overvoltage limits stay the same, they play a smaller role or even no role for a battery with narrowed down state of charge window. The battery likes to stay within a narrow temperature range. If it gets too cold, the resistance increases and the open circuit voltage decreases. And if too hot, it will age quickly, even when not used. As the battery ages, its properties will change. For example, the maximum charge it can cycle is reduced. At the end of life, the battery capacity is 80% of the capacity when it was new. The resistance also increases with age, often up to 200% relative to the value when the battery was new. These changes to the parameters will reduce the battery performance regarding maximum power, efficiency, and usable state of charge window. So there are many reasons why the operating region of the battery may be lower than what we have derived. We have to size the battery so that all required operating points fall within the allowed operating range. But the operating range we have shown so far is only valid for a new battery at its right temperature. If the requirement shall be met also when the battery is aged, too cold or too hot, we need to limit the usable operating region further. Some examples of factors reducing the operating region are: the usable state of charge may be reduced as an effect of aging. The open circuit voltage may be reduced at low temperature, which reduces the peak power. The maximum current may be reduced at high temperature. The battery resistance increases due to low temperature or due to aging. So in practice, we may decide to limit the usable operating region further. Exactly how large margins should be used is a complex question. Some requirements will be important to meet also under non-ideal conditions, while others may be okay to sometimes fail to meet. In any case, it is this smaller operating region which should be used when determining if a battery meets the most critical powertrain requirements. Very good. In this lecture, we have derived the operating region of a battery and discussed what factors limit the usable state of charge window and the maximum charge and discharge power. We have seen that we may need also to consider low and high temperature and aged batteries when determining the possible operating region. Thank you for watching.